This video is sponsored by EA. Season 8 is here, so let's take a closer look at what's new. We've got Fuse, the new 3030 repeater, and a ton of new Kings Canyon map changes. First up is good old Fusey. He's a legend with an explosive personality and an even more explosive kit. He's the perfect anti-camper. Let's take a look at why. Fuse's tactical allows you to stack 2 grenades per inventory slot and fire grenades faster and further. I mean, you can really lob these things far as Fuse. There's this new grenade bounce indicator so you can calculate your frag grenade throws better. In the right hands, this is going to be dangerous. Fuse's tactical is the knuckle cluster. He can throw a cluster grenade that fires and sticks to whatever it is aimed at, whether it's a wall, a door, or, well, somebody's face. After a short time, it will explode into a bunch of small clusters and can deal a total of 50 damage. Throw it at a door to break it, or into a small room to damage everyone inside. Next we have Fuse's ultimate ability, dangerous if used right, but not overpowered. Once charged up, Fuse pulls out his mortar. He can use it to fire down a ring of up to 200 meters away. There's no initial damage, but if a player touches the ring of fire, they'll take 50 damage and then an additional 25 bleed damage. If a player remains in the fire, they'll take more damage. This could be really good for controlling enemy positions, and you can also fire inside buildings, and, well, could make things get pretty hectic fast. Note that you can just jump over the fire ring with a plentitude of different abilities. Next we have the 3030 repeater. It's a new heavy weapon DMR, like the Scout but with a twist. When you aim down sight, it charges up, and the longer the charge, the more damage the shot is. It starts at 45 and maxes at 57, or 75 and 100 for headshots. It seems like a pretty powerful long range weapon, which is going to be impactful on the new Kings Canyon map changes. There's also a new gold magazine which has replaced the golden barrel. Holster your weapon with this and it will auto reload, but it does take quite a long time to do, so it's not overpowered. The anvil receiver is back and the double tap is gone. If you didn't get a chance to use the anvil receiver back in season 3, essentially this hop-up lets you do more damage on the R301 and flatline when in single fire mode. However, the fire rate is reduced and you use 2 ammo per shot. Okay, now it's time to talk about Kings Canyon. Despite the Season 8 trailer showing Kings Canyon getting blown up yet again, this time things have kind of worked out for our beloved first map. The map is looking beautiful with a new brighter, bluer hue, and they've actually increased the playable area. Slums has been removed from the game, a new point of interest has taken its place, and the mountain behind it has also been opened up, and it creates 2 very interesting points of interest. They connect to artillery, pit, and runoff. These areas are massive and very open in scale. You have multiple areas that allow you to gain height, and many of the building complexes here have multiple floors to explore. This area is definitely going to offer more widespread fighting instead of close range carnage that happened in slums. There are also these new observational towers you'll see dotted around Kings Canyon. Hop on and activate the button and you'll get a good height advantage and a nice zip line back down. The ship crash site has some interesting levels to explore, and I can imagine the fights here will be quite action-packed. There are large areas of water connecting these points of interest, but you'll be quite vulnerable out in the open here. Thankfully, there are zip lines and jump towers to connect these points together. You'll notice the passage to runoff has changed. There's some really interesting routes to take here that make the map feel incredibly scenic and cinematic at times. Go past these points and towards runoff, and that side of the map is almost entirely the same. There are some changes here and there on the other side of the map though, and I'll take you through that soon. But first, there are new grenade vaults that can be blown up with a grenade. Inside you'll find a bunch of weapons, ammo and attachments. It seems there's very high chance for golden attachments in here too. Along towards containment, you'll notice that small wooden shack has gone and it's just a large open pool of water. Containment itself and the watchtower are the same, but the tunnel leading up to artillery has been destroyed. You're given a route through to artillery like normal, or a shortcut into the crash site. Artillery hasn't changed besides the new routes out of it, and then we have this whole section which is mostly the same, although some buildings have been removed here and there. Go back into the center of the map and you'll notice new buildings along the river all through the map, and there's a small unnamed area near water treatment. It seems like the loot vaults are completely closed up, but that's okay considering we have the new grenade vaults, flyers and loot ticks. Much of the rest of the map is untouched, but these changes should definitely pull players more north for longer and open up more areas, which could cut down on third parties a bit. We still have Octane's Gauntlet, Labs, Crypto's Map Room and Mirage Voyage, making Kings Canyon the most packed map in terms of different points of interest. So what else is new in Season 8? Well, of course we have a beautiful new Battle Pass with perhaps the best Bangalore skin ever. Finally, Respawn have given her a very awesome hairstyle. I know a lot of people have complained about her previous hairstyle, so this is nice to see. The reactive weapon this season is the longbow, an interesting design for sure. Fuse also has some very awesome legendary skins. His quips are hilarious, his personality is awesome. I'll definitely be diving into all the legend interactions later in the season. Definitely stay tuned for that. Now there's some other balancing changes that have happened. Perhaps the absolute biggest and most impactful is Octane's jump pad. When you slide over the jump pad now, you'll get a massive distance forwards horizontally through the air at fast speed. A very powerful repositioning tool is going to be in our hands. If you simply walk over it or punch it, you'll now go much higher in the air as well, and to top it off you can still double jump. This is a crazy strong Octane buff. The Spitfire also got a damage buff from 18 to 19. It may not seem like much, but for Rampart mains this is going to be quite useful. The Spitfire has always been difficult to use before, but this, behind an amped wall which now has 45 health whilst building, is definitely a nice addition. I'm not too sure on the specifics of the Horizon potential nerf, the Wraith potential rebalance and buff / nerf, and all the other legend and weapon changes. There'll be another patch notes video on this channel, so don't worry about that. Either way, Season 8 is looking like a lot of fun. Kings Canyon looks like a paradise to have fun and just completely cause carnage. I can't wait to see how powerful Fuse is. Now I did test a few things with legend interactions. Of course, Fuse's ultimate and tactical do get blocked by Watson's ult. You can jump pad, gravity lift and grapple over the fire, and if it's sort of on a downward slope you can jump over it as well, but if it's on flat terrain you can't really jump over it. It's definitely going to pair well with a caustic ult or perhaps even a Horizon ult. Check this out. The 30-30 repeater can also shoot open doors, just like the Wingman, Longbow and Sentinel can. Pretty nice feature. With the reintroduction of the Anvil receiver, the introduction of the 30-30 repeater, and sort of more open spaces, it seems like the devs want to offer some more mid-range engagement opportunities. If you're interested in the lore, you'll be happy to know there is another comic coming this season, already in the game. It will focus on a story with Lifeline, Bloodhound and Fuse, and they'll be going up against Maggie. Alright, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to play Apex Legends Season 8, check the link in the description. Cheerio!